I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Bring a date, your squad, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Hello, gentle listener. The Nocturnal Transmissions podcast, your friendly provider of delightfully dark short horror fiction, has a new episode available. And it goes a little bit like this. Stella would be in bed by the time he arrived, but he would lean over and kiss her sleeping cheek. Then he would undress and climb into bed beside her. In the morning, when she woke, Stella would have no idea that it was a stranger who lay beside her in bed. That it was, in fact, some thing from off the moors. The Nocturnal Transmissions podcast. Come get some.
SpectreVision Radio.
Telemetry and launch condition.
Well, some other observers are...
Hey, it's late night.
It's late night on the astral plane, where it's never too late. With your host, Ryan Singer.
It's more fun to believe.
Hey everybody, I mean, we thought we had action before this thing started. We had a slamming door, but it was just the most basic of what I would consider to be weather physics or wind physics.
Cross breeze.
Holy shit, this place is so hot. Oh, it's the wind.
Yeah.
It's the wind, friend.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put the stool in front of the door.
Sorry, and I left the TV on.
Yeah.
And I sat on the mute button. I'm in Mason City, Illinois. I've got, are we going by stage name or?
You can go, whatever's clever. Yeah, Stein. Matt Stein.
Matt Stein. I don't know how we, considering, when did you start comedy? How many years ago?
2011.
2011. So that's 15. The year I moved to LA. So, yeah, it's like, I feel like my personality split when I moved to Los Angeles, and,
mine did too, like when I lost my sight, because I lost it in 2011, and that's when I kind of took the turn where it's like, all right, well, we have Matt Stein that pays taxes and Stein that tries to avoid them.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that we have that, but you know how it is. It's like one of those things when I moved out of the Midwest and then I was only here touring, and then I'd come through here maybe 1.5 times a year. And I'd say 1.5 just because every once in a while if I was traveling through, I would just crash at Chris's place for a day or two. But
yeah, and Chris did a pretty quick job of like being here at like my home club at Mason City, where he like bumped me up to like running my own weekends. So once that happens, and it's like, oh, you're not going to encounter like Ryan. It's kind of thing. So it's nice that he was just like, hey, when do you want to work this weekend? I was like, with another cool comic, like just. Like I was like, put me up with Singer when he comes through, and so.
I mean, we hit it off immediately. We were up all night, or up pretty late, talking all things spooky, squatchy, paranormally. You had some great stories, and there was a couple times where I was like, "Oh, I should tell him to shut the fuck up right now."
Yeah, I don't want to hear this. Save this. We're going to record this later.
It's just like it's such a modern thing to say to somebody, hey, stop talking about this story I really want to hear because I want to hear it later.
Yeah, the times that we live in now, it's like, oh, wait, I need to record this. It's like
this is content.
Yeah, it's like I could get paid off of you telling me this right now.
Yeah. I could make $7 next month by this.
Yeah.
It is. We're in the showroom right now. We've got a show. I don't know, about 6 hours from now we'll kick off, and it should be a fun time. This club, I've been coming here since it opened. One of the best shows of my entire life was here with my buddies Mike Cody and Dave Waite. We had an audience size of 2 people, and they sat exactly where we're sitting, really, right up front, stage right. And we almost didn't do the show. We decided to do a condensed version of the show. We did kind of like a 3-headed feature weekend, right?
Yeah,
because we were all kind of coming up together. And it was the first time I'd been here. I knew Chris from Dayton, so I kind of came up in the scene where he was one of the guys already. And those 2 people maybe were sent from comedy heaven. I don't know where they came from, and I'm not sure that they were human, because that was one of the best sets I've ever had in my entire life.
Well, this room is magical. It's like I've done it packed to capacity at about 80 people, and I've done it for sub 8. And the energy is always the same in the room. And I always love like when there's less than 12 people, because if they can't fit a jury, then they can't judge the show. Yeah. it's like this is us. And sometimes it's like, hey, we're just here to sit down and play some pinochle and shoot the shit. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Comedians are nothing if not masters at coming up with fun ways to describe nobody coming to see us. Like we become like masters at it. This club is definitely magical. I like to come here before I do something. Like next weekend, I'll be trying to record an album, if not 2 albums in the same weekend. And so I'm like, oh, Mason City is the perfect place to go before that weekend comes, because I agree with you 100%. I love this place, and the comedy is free flowing. It's magical.
The acoustics are great. The people are fantastic. It's like, that real salt of the earth Midwest vibe.
Yeah, and it's not overinflated stakes.
No, yeah, it's kind of like, okay, well, if this goes bad, we'll just have a beer afterwards.
Yeah. And it's not to like say, hey, we're not here to try to do our best. What I mean by that is like, there's not this manufactured aura of high stakes happening. Because of people that might be in the back of the room watching, like that, all that BS that happens in certain other rooms around, in like maybe some of the major cities.
Yeah, it's like you're performing for the people, not for industry.
Yeah, not for the 2 people who
could make or break whether or not you pay taxes or not,
and also have the sense of humor of a doorstop.
Yeah.
But
why they know comedy.
Yeah, but they know comedy. That's why they're a suit. That's why their idea of dressing down is taking off this tie.
We're gonna go with one less button.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be anti-business. That is a loud ass noise happening outside. We have the doors open because it's hotter than shit out here, but and we need a breeze. But okay, so let's get into some of the wacky and the wild. We like literally went everywhere last night. I don't know if you've told this story a ton on podcasts before or not, but if you want to get into what I would consider to be, pretty kind of psi-ability phenomena that first occurred to you when you started losing your sight.
Yeah, no, I haven't really just like close homies I've talked to.
All right, I mean, if you don't want to share that.
Oh no, I'll definitely share it out. But it's because it's not ever something where it's like, hey, you want to know what happened to me? It's just and I'm still 15 years later like processing it, like what was that, like one of those weird where it's like, am I going crazy, but still having like a logical inner voice of like, this is happening, but it's not real, but it's really happening. And like how you like have to process that scenario.
So walk me through from, as far back into it as you actually want to go. Yes. And then, we'll lay it out.
So, like, I have a eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. So it's a genetic disorder that I have, and like I was always like legally blind at night, even as like a child. Like when the streetlights came on, I'm glad that was a rule to get home because I wasn't able to do anything anymore. Like if something wasn't in direct light, I couldn't see it. And then it just like progressively got worse. 19, lost peripheral vision. At 25, I lost like my right eye and left eye shrunk down to like a straw. And then at 33, everything closed off. But at that 25 marker is where things like really started getting kind of wonky. And so like between 23 and 30 or 25 and 30, before like my vision completely closed off, like I started having like what I would call like rapid synchronicities and almost like weird internal visions of the sense of like right before I lost my sight and it completely went, like I was having experiences of like seeing things that were going on that like I wasn't like in the vicinity of, like the story I was telling you last night. Like I physically saw, like I was at home in Peoria and I physically saw one of my buddies in Colorado getting pulled over by the cops, taken out of his car, like handcuffed, sat on the curb, and even in my mind, because like I hadn't seen Rob's car, you know, but like I had felt and touched it before. I'm like, that kind of looks like Rob. That kind of looks like his BMW SUV. And the whole point of view was like coming from what looked like someone sitting at a steering wheel, like catty corner from where this was going down at. And so like as I'm seeing this thing play out in front of me, I'm like, all right, this is bizarre and weird. And then like once like I wasn't seeing that vision anymore and it just kind of went back to like the spiraling colors that I see all the time, I like call my buddy Rob and I'm like, hey man, what's up, bro? Like, how are you doing? He's like, dude, been better. Like just got pulled over by the cops and just got, and like in my mind, I didn't tell him, but in my mind, I'm like, I just fucking saw this happen.
Yeah.
You know, and like how, why, what, you know, kind of thing. And then I went through like a little stage of where I always felt like I was seeing like a bank of like CCTVs that were like almost like the cameras from like highway cameras, and like had no clue what it was. It was weird. I thought I was like going nuts.
So your point of view totally like shifted away from kind of what we would consider to be maybe first person.
Yes, yeah,
right?
it was like it's like, you know, like what from like
Zoomed
documentaries
out.
when they talk of like remote viewing or seeing through someone else's eyes, or just like almost like watching a movie from like a camera's perspective and not from like my own personal perspective. And I thought I was going crazy, you know. So it's like I straight up checked myself into like a mental hospital, like, yo, listen, this is what's going on.
How long did it take you to check yourself in?
It was about 2 weeks of kind of like having those things happen, plus like a few other things. I had like the thing that really did it for me was I had a 2.5 hour long conversation with my buddy Sean's uncle Joel, who was like severely had Downs and like didn't talk much, and we had a 3 hour long nonverbal conversation, just like what seemed telepathically. And it was like, and I knew it was like happening because then like when things would happen in the environment we were in, it was like almost answering the questions that we were like having with each other. And I was like, dude, this is too much. And he was telling me like, you either need to get help or go to church, is what he kept telling me. And I was like, this is crazy. And I step outside and there's church bells ringing across the street, and like someone pulled up. I think it was for the neighbor, but I just heard him say like, hey man, you ready to go? And I was like, what the fuck? And 2 days later, checked myself into the hospital, was there for about a week and a half, you know, where we were just trying to like figure out what was going on. Like schizophrenia does like run in my family, like my grandpa had it. So it's like, man, am I just having like a mental break? And turns out it wasn't it. They diagnosed it as like due to me partying and like drinking and partying and stuff like that. So then I checked myself into rehab, and then from there, once like I got completely sober, then that's when like all of a sudden all of my slight vision that I had of like even having like light sensitivity completely went away, and now it's just constant swirling colored slinkies and like weird floating humanoid cat faces, eyeball anomalies that just float by my vision 24/7, like a LSD DMT trip.
Wow. I'm curious too about the timing of when you call your buddy after seeing him remotely, after viewing him remotely, being arrested and pulled over by the cops, or almost arrested, or just being pulled over. Was like when you called him, had he just like got back into his car and was driving again?
Yeah, it was like after, like he was like leaving where he had just been pulled over.
So it was actually your vision. Our best guesstimate here is that it was in real time. It wasn't slightly delayed. It wasn't slightly before. It was actually as it was kind of happening.
Yeah, like within, I would say it definitely within like the day. You know what I mean? Like, and it was because it was, you could even hear it in his voice, like where he was kind of frantic of like, you know, I just had my car searched, you know, kind of thing.
Wow.
And I mean, granted, he didn't have anything on him, so he was like fine. But you know how anytime you're getting pulled out by the authorities for something, it's like weird, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. And different psi abilities and paranormal abilities, whatever, ESP things. They've been called many things, and one of them is second sight. Is one of the phrases that has been used for a long, long time when it comes to being able to see the future or see other things for people. They call it second sight, and also the idea too of the effect that it has on the person experiencing these things, right? And a lot of these things ring similar to what they call spontaneous paranormal experiences, where you feel kind of to a degree shattered and unable to get your footing in your past normal, right?
Yeah.
Which makes you then feel crazy.
Yeah, it's like you kind of feel, and like for me, it's like and I had like one to two other experiences similar to that, where like I was seeing something from like a different vantage point, and it's like at first you kind of get like that wave of panic, but then it's just like I said, my inner monologue was just like, okay, well, you're sitting here. Okay, you know that you see that thing. Like, that's happening, but it's not happening right here, So it's like, I kind of always, it's easy to revert back to the things that, like, we grew up with. And so it's like, coming from, like, past, like, being raised, like, Catholic, it was just kind of like, all right, man, just, like, fear not. Like, if you fear something, it's going to consume you. Just don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't have to, and, like, hell, we live in the times now where, if you think you know something, it's like you're lying to yourself. So just just take it in stride, and sometimes you're not going to have an answer for it. Going to,
and that is the curious case of curiosity, and the mystery gives life meaning, and to be able to solve anything and everything would be. The doldrums would set in for sure. Let's do a quick break here. I got Blind Stein. I got Matt Stein, comedian, with me. I already tell how fun this weekend is going to be when we actually work. I mean, the comedian's lifestyle is like we both got in the night before the show started, hanging out at Chris's house, eating shrimp scampi,
and smoked salmon, Brussels sprouts.
Gonzo pops down, starts telling us stories about back in the 80s, doing comedy competitions.
Meeting Bill Cosby and hanging out with the Mother Starship or whatever.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship, and Grace Slick telling someone to get fucked on his behalf, like back in the day. Just crazy, crazy stories. So we're going to be right back. Patreon.com/Ryan Singer, $3 a month. That's it. No commercials ever on these episodes over at the Patreon page. You should check that out. There's no video today because we're just kind of on the run out here, flying by the seat of our pants. So
yeah, it's in Steiner Vision.
Yeah, it's in Steiner Vision. So I'll try to find some like animal face, cat-faced, humanoid faces to float around a screen. Maybe
it kind of looks like Mewtwo and Chitara. Those are like the things I can like reference the most.
Oh, okay.
Just from memory.
I'll have to Google those because I'm 50. But yes,
you know Thundercats, bro. Come on.
I'm gonna have to put that into the YouTube. Oh, that's the Thundercat names. Oh, I love Thundercats. We're gonna be right back.
The best summer memories are made outside, and LL Bean has the clothing and gear you need to make these memories. Their effortless styles are created for summer spent outside with family and friends. Like hand-sewn boat shoes, coastal cotton sweaters, rugged polos, and, of course, the iconic Boatin' Tote, which has been made right here in Maine since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
And we're back. Okay, so what I'm curious too about here is, I'm sure you've probably heard of this astronauts experience, what they call the overview effect. Right, I think it may have been Edgar Mitchell who coined the term, the guy who started ION's Institute of Noetic Sciences. Anyway, Edgar Mitchell, one of his emails to John Podesta or DePodesta, I can't remember, who was like Hillary Clinton's chief of staff, like where he was emailing the Vatican and shit and about aliens and stuff like that. Like that's when he was most well known. I think his name was in the news the most.
Yeah, and isn't the Vatican, they're like super invested in aliens? Like they've been dumping
well, yeah, their
money
whole business model collapses.
Yeah.
So it's like keeping tabs on the competition.
Yeah,
right?
there's like how can we? Yeah, that's why they brought in Spielberg.
Yeah, right. I guarantee McDonald's has every piece of dirt on Wendy's. You know what I mean? Like they're, but yeah, that's
stay close to the narrative so you can help persuade it.
Yeah, that's actually pretty. Maybe we'll work that out this weekend on stage. So the overview effect, and it's when they get like their perspective. It's a complete shift in perspective when they get out into space and they look back and they see the tiny blue dot that is Earth. And then they look at how fragile and how connected everything is. And then they it really changes everything inside of them and changes the way they think. It changes the way they act when they get back, oftentimes, those who experience it. And it's this zooming out that I've always kind of just called it in my own mind. Like, I just need to try to zoom out sometimes and sit in my chair in the Milky Way galaxy and look down on stuff and realize it's not that big of a deal. Or what I'm caught up in right now is I need to let it go.
Yeah, like nothing is that big because everything that we can face is, in the grand scheme of things, so small.
Yeah, exactly. And not to trivialize it or to take away that it might have profound impact in our day-to-day lives. That's not what that's about. But I'm curious about like the POV shift that you were experiencing in your sight when you were kind of zooming out. It sounds like to a certain degree and seeing outside of yourself, which is also reminiscent of people who become very, very good at astral projection and out-of-body experiences. They still have the complete awareness that their body is somewhere else. It's not like they're just kind of floating around in space and don't realize that they are sitting in a chair or laying in a bed somewhere with their eyes closed, meditating. If they're trying to induce it, as opposed to just falling asleep and it happening on accident, like it happens for I think everybody from time to time.
Yeah.
But what you described is very reminiscent of what I've read from people like Robert Monroe and other people who talk about out-of-body experiences, still being aware of their body, but then also simultaneously being aware of a different point of view.
Yeah, mine was very much not so much where it's like, because you hear about the near-death things where people like, I felt myself floating above myself, looking down at my body on the hospital bed. Like, yeah. Mine wasn't so much that, but it was just like, I know I'm like the other experience I had was sitting in my mom's living room and I saw myself from behind as if like the camera angle was coming from the chandelier down to me, where it's like I'd raise my hand. The thing I was seeing was raising his hand.
You know what's so cool about that is like one of the exercises you do in the gateway meditations is to try to leave your body through the top of your head and or try to actually just scoot out of your physical body with your astral body or energetic body or whatever, and you just see kind of like the back and you float up a little bit and you just have that exact same perspective.
Yeah, and it's like I still felt like I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing it, basically 20 feet back, 10 feet up, looking down.
What do they call it? They call that bilocation, right? Or something?
Yeah.
You can be two places simultaneously.
And it was just like, that was the thing, was like, this is nuts. You know what I mean?
When it's unexpected, right? And whether it's Monroe or other people who just spontaneously started experiencing phenomena like this, or, it makes them feel like, the first thing they go to is like, am I losing my mind? Or what is wrong with me right now? Like, right, that's the go-to first thing to try to eliminate, right?
Yeah. It's like, am I crazy? But then it's like, when you're having a logical, conversation with yourself, it's that fine line of believing what is occurring, but not believing that it is forever. It's like, thank God I had done psychedelics before.
I was going to say that's very reminiscent of what we have to remind ourselves are when the trip starts going bad.
Yeah.
The clouds just got angry. Oh no.
Yeah. You know how many times I said to myself, I'm like, well, this is my new reality. And then 8 hours later, it's like, oh, thank God.
Thank God. I will not be eaten by that cloud. like the most beautiful thing in the world. One time, I look up and I'm just like, oh God, he wants to eat me. And I was extremely dehydrated. It was like 97 degrees outside. So it's like, hey, maybe I got into a river and laid there, and I was like, oh my God, this is heaven. And then the clouds went away. But
yeah, that's what the cloud was telling you. It was trying to coalesce water, being like, bro, you need
he was like,
me.
He was like grunting, like trying to push out his shit. And it looked like he was angry. I'm gonna make some water for you, brother. I'm gonna make it rain.
I'm glad that you got met by the Macho Man Randy Savage, like cumulus cloud.
Oh yeah, it's gonna rain.
The rainbow was just the flaps from his arm tassels. Like.
Yeah. And a mountain's like, you need some Imodium? And Cloud's like, no, I need to let it out. It is like wild to me to I mean, obviously I don't have these experiences and know what you're talking about. And this is a hereditary condition, right? That you inherited.
Yeah, so it affects the Y. Someone who a female with the X chromosome carries the disease, but it only affects the Y chromosome. So like females are the carriers, males are like the recipients of like the chaos from it. And so I mean it goes back, like my grandpa lost his sight from it. I had a couple cousins that had it, but then like because it is like it's a coin flip. Like my older brother has the same eye disease. My second older brother has like perfect 20/20 vision. A small joke in there is that the three things we all have in common is none of us have a driver's license because two have drinking problems and two of us are blind. But
where's the overlap? You figure it out.
You do the math. Yeah.
I wonder if there's any guilt that he's got. Like feeling like he, like, what do they call it? Survivor's guilt almost to a certain degree, like by not, or do you think?
See, I don't know. We live by like the Irish German sense of like no news is good news, so we don't really talk about that stuff.
No,
like if you need help, we'll be there. But if you don't need us, just handle your shit.
Yeah, and it is an interesting. I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of strange side effect of empathy, right? This idea of feeling guilty about survive, like when you hear about these people who have survivors, when a bunch of people died for whatever reason, they just got lucky.
When you wonder why,
yeah,
it's like why them, why not me? And then if you miss, like if you kind of miss a bullet, sometimes it's like there's a burden that you have to do something more, than just being, because it's like, well, I survived, they didn't, so since I did, I need to do something with my life.
Well, it is a real reality check. And I think, I've even had that told to me before by people after dodging death in a certain situation. And, wow, someone must have big plans for you, they said. And I was like, wow, you're putting that on me right after I tell you what just happened to me and how I didn't die from it?
Yeah. And I've always kind of had like that thought process, like right after high school, me and a buddy of mine drove off of a ravine at like 45 miles an hour and rolled his Jeep like 9 times and walked away unscathed. And like from that point at like 18, I'm like, oh, I'm meant to do something. You know what I mean?
Which is better than the other reaction. We're like, well, it looks like I'm not killable.
Yeah.
Looks like I can do whatever I want.
Well, I mean, the doctors cured that one real quick when they told our parents, it's like, if your kids weren't as drunk as what they were, they wouldn't have survived that accident. It's like, yeah, 0.301 BAC and a 0.243 can survive.
Oh, the relaxation of the body effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
When like drunk drivers aren't hurt in accidents, when the sober people they hit are killed, or
yeah, because you just roll with it because you can't react to it. So
yeah, it's just incredible that completely being oblivious to danger around us saves us from it.
Which is kind of how I live my life, man. It's like fear not, just like I blindly tour across the country by myself. I've hitchhiked, I've taken Greyhound, which is probably more dangerous than hitchhiking, and it's just like, well, it's like if you're not, sometimes being dumb works in your favor.
Yes,
ignorance is bliss.
Sometimes you can become president. It really works in your favor. As long as you're born into a really good situation, I guess. But it is curious though that there's so many different avenues a person can take when they experience something that is so outside of their norm, and we could I mean, I would, from an outsider's perspective, not trying to speak on your behalf, but I would say it's a paradigm shifting world change when you check yourself in voluntarily to a mental hospital. And that is that's a moment where you think to yourself, well, and I've talked about it on this show before and with other artists and things where many of us have had this kind of sneaking suspicion when we were younger, well, I'm going to go crazy someday. It's just a matter of when, not if. And then you have a moment where you're like, well, I guess it happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Fate has met me at the door and time to walk with it or refuse it. You know?
And I guess I don't get to pick the time of the dinner reservation, when I'm getting served all this fucking crazy bullshit. But so I wonder if there's some kind of major acceptance of fate that happens when you're actually checking yourself, and or you just not even thinking about it because you're I just need to go do this and take care of, or I need help, or are you not even? You're probably not even thinking in such a grander way, right?
Yeah, I think I think subconsciously you are. I think consciously you're just trying to figure out what's going on. You're trying just to it's and when you get to that point, you've tried to self-understand everything. And the one thing that I found, once I was able to take that hard pause, actually ask for the help, start to work through it. Part of that process was me in the full denial of losing my sight. As I was in the process of it going away, and then it was once I kind of accepted, it was I was masking the fact of everything's fine when really I deep down I knew it's dude, you're going blind. Shit's not fine. It's life changing. And I think once I took that acceptance of that change of accepting it to where I was accepting the full transition of it. And then it was weird how during that transitional of embracing what is happening, is also when I was having all those experiences. It was during that, I let go of to say simpler, it's I was letting go of the past and then I was transitioning into what the new is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And in many ways it's similar to being in a liminal state and a liminal space that we talked a little bit about last night, and
which still flew over my head. It's I get it, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, this in-between, this transitory state and space, right? From one thing from sight to blindness, is theorized anyway by many people to be you're a hot piece of ass on the paranormal experiencer market. Let's just for lack of a better analogy,
thanks for noticing, Ryan. I haven't looked in the mirror in 15 years, so it's nice to know.
Well, let me tell you, buddy, ghosts, you are thirst trapping ghosts everywhere you go. Demons are swiping right on you, my friend.
Good thing it's Bumble. I gotta respond first.
Yeah, right. So it is this interesting thing where there seems to be an uptick or a higher occurrence of paranormal experience or mystical experience, supernatural, whatever we want to call it, when we are experiencing a transition or we are in the middle of being one place or the next, and sometimes with no real idea when we're going to get to the next place, maybe even too.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be it could be ambiguous in that way.
And I think it's also layered too. So it's you can be going through a process, but it's also through an emotional process of trauma to acceptance.
Oh, 100%.
So and that's why I think sometimes with people it rears up seemingly out of nowhere on them, because it's your subconscious is working all the time. You're just unaware of what it's shuffling, and then all of a sudden once it gets in order, then it's okay, we can present this to the conscious now. And it's so you've been working on that internal transition unknowingly, and then it's nope, here it is, and so it seems like it happens in a blink of an eye, when really it's probably been going on for a while. You've just been stuffing it down.
You just made me really think of something that I've never thought of before, and that is even energetic transition, being in a liminal space energetically. Let's say you get into a new meditation routine, from not meditating at all into starting to meditate, or you get into like a Kundalini yoga, or something that is a spiritual yet physical practice, a combination of those things, and it is actually changing your energy, like the frequency of your energy, or whatever it is that energy, however energy can change, right? And so because you said emotional, I've always thought about like physical things, or like leaving a job, going to another job, moving from apartment to another, or whatever, leaving a relationship, going to another relationship, whatever. And then you said emotional. It's like, oh, that's definitely a huge space.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it, because emotions are the one thing that like they can't be seen, felt, but they can be heard. It's like when you're angry, like you feel it. When you're sad, you feel it. Like you can't tangibly touch that, but you can tangibly like experience it.
Yeah.
So it's like that might almost be more powerful than just like having a friend come over who owns a truck.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Hey, what is that? I don't recognize that truck. It runs on people's anger. It's environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's environmentally angry. This is an environmentally angry truck.
Yeah. No, grab the left side of this couch and let's go.
And no, I won't give you pizza.
Yeah.
Does that make you mad? Good, because we got another 20 miles. And the battery's low. It is weird too that like, but you weren't a stranger to strange experiences before this happened.
No, yeah. Growing up as a kid, like our house was definitely haunted. Like me and my sister, my sister would always like say that she was talking to the ghosts, because we'd be hanging out in our basement and you'd hear like someone walking around upstairs, and we'd be the only, we were latchkey kids. Like we're the only ones home, and my sister would be like, Fred, knock it off, and like the steps would stop, and then we also had...
So she was actually talking.
Yeah.
She was communicating.
Yeah. Now, whether or not she was just like, she's never expressed to me if she was like having full-blown communications with it, but she was comfortable enough to, like, as a child, to like talk with it and think that she was like, she at least thought she was like communicating with it, and it seemed to be responding to her when she would. And I bared witness just to the signs of it. We also had like every day at 3:00, if you were sitting in our front living room, it looked like a woman walked past like that would have been the west window. And every day at 3:00, we'd always see this woman walk by.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. The knock.
Hello? I swear to God, that was Chris coming in and the door closing.
No, that was a door frame knock. Like tat, 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 tat. Yeah, my hair is standing up now.
Yeah, me too. Like right after right when you're talking about a woman walking by at 3:00. What fucking time is it right now?
I don't know what
it
time
is. Oh my God, it's 2:40. Okay, so it's not 3:00.
Okay.
If it was 3:00 right now, I would have been like, holy shit, let's get out of here.
And yeah, but we used to always see her, and like, and of course, like my older brother, who's like a complete like logical science math mind person, was just like, oh, it's probably just the neighbor's tree, and it's a shadow at that time that blah 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 blah. Well, then the neighbor cuts the tree down. And then we still see the anomaly like go by at 3:00 like every day. So it's like, and my mom would talk about how like when we were kids playing in the backyard, like she'd look back and it would look like there was a woman standing in like the kitchen window at the sink. So like we, as a family, we all kind of had similar experiences. Some people accepted them, some people deny them, so it's like they occurred.
Well, this actually brings me to an interesting, or at least as Gonzo would say, I thought it was interesting. I thought to me, and that is, I talked to a bunch of people about their ghost experiences and things like that, and I don't think it's ever occurred to me in this way, where some people acknowledge it, some people deny it, right? But at the end of the day, it wasn't. I don't know, how do I say this properly? It wasn't a big deal, I guess, right? I mean, because that's where you live, and that's just your life, and it becomes a thing that's just normal inside of your environment, right?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's where I circle back to like, fear not, man. I think a lot of those things, when like those experiences turn like sideways, it's like, I think the energy that you feed it is the direction in which it goes. So if you're chill, calm, and embracing, like it's gonna be chill, calm, and embracing. If you're scared, terrified, and threatened, it's gonna like then go in that direction too. Now, whether or not that's true, I have no clue.
Well, you ever been around a puppy? I was just puppy sitting. You ever get angry? or super happy or super sad, the dog will react accordingly.
Yeah. Well, and dogs also just react to people. Like, you ever have a dog around one of your friends, you're like, I think he's kind of a shitbag, and the dog lets you know that, like,
yeah, he's a shitbag. Yeah, I wouldn't even smell his ass. Yeah, there was many years ago. I was in a room, and the woman I was dating had a suddenly out of nowhere tragic phone call. And I sensed something immediately just because, I knew her and I was in a room with her, and I was like, oh, this isn't normally how she talks immediately after answering the phone. The dog we had was completely in a different part of the place. It came running faster than I've ever seen it run in its life, and literally attacked her face, like licking her, like giving her kisses, almost instantaneously upon answering the phone. Like, that dog energetically knew exactly what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, we got to flip the script.
Right? And the dog was trying to, show love and care for a person in a time when they needed it. And because I wasn't going to do it. No.
As a human, sometimes you're like, I don't know what to do.
Well, yeah. I was like, this sounds like her problem.
Yeah. Sounds like you need some time. I'm going to go.
Yeah. I'm a man. I don't do this.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because, on a more serious note, the idea of not being a big deal, right? Like this woman and, or this other entity, maybe the same one by the kitchen sink when you're in the backyard as kids playing. It's this idea too that it becomes a big deal when we say that this isn't possible, right? When we say, no, that shouldn't be happening because that can't happen. And then people are like, well, then how do we explain that? Then it becomes like a big deal. Like,
it's the moment of lying to yourself. It's like, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
It's like just because doesn't mean you have to explain it, but you can accept that you saw what you saw.
That's the trick, right? You don't have to explain it. Like, good luck trying not to.
Yeah. Same thing with like a Stein girlfriend. Yeah.
It is like this thing too, where it's, something happens to us that's outside the box, and it's weird, and we don't really have a template for it, and or instructions on how to deal with it, and now like it kind of can take over our brain for a while.
Yeah, and some people never recover from that.
Yeah, they never get out of it.
Yeah, it's like it's that they put themselves in like a weird negative like loop.
Yeah, next thing you know, they've had a podcast for 14 years.
We're brought to you by Patreon.
Brought to you by Patreon. It's SpectreVision Radio. Oh, also got to shoot out Paranormal Corp. Full-time, all-time sponsor of Late Night on the Astral Plane. All your paranormal needs. You need a ghost for your kid's birthday party, they've got you covered. I almost forgot to shout out Paranormal Corp. We're gonna do one last quick break. We gotta keep the orbs on around here. I got to pay the orb bill.
Yeah, got to keep spinning them.
So we're going to do that real quick, and I'm going to be back with Matt Stein, and we're going to, talk about some more. Maybe we'll do the camping thing.
Oh, yeah, the kid's birthday party camp. That shit was weird. And then also the state, like when I went to the state hospital that's now torn down and closed, but as kids we used to go there and sneak in through the tunnels and never make it too far because batteries and everything would always die, and we're like, fuck.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna be right back with some more spooky goodness.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
All right, we are back. Okay, so you told me a really, fascinating yet, kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's like I'm still
amazing.
Trying. It's 20 plus years, 20, almost 30 years later, and I'm still trying to process it. Like it's like, was it a spoof? Was it real? Like, but I know what the experience was.
What the hell is that noise?
That's the ice machine, I believe.
Now, there's one thing I know to be fact. And that is that grown-ups on camping trips from time to time love messing with kids. There's a reason ghost stories by the campfire are a thing. there's a reason everybody knows that trope, that visual image, or that audio.
It's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, like the flashlight. But and there was a night just like tonight, and kids weren't paying attention to what their parents said, right?
Yeah, it's like the way of like the old tales of like Hansel and Gretel, where like the dark,
the actual,
yeah, like
you actually read the book.
Yeah, the dark versions of like this is why you obey. You know,
or your innards will be taken out from your body and used to string you up. Like, oh, that's a little bit different than Snow White.
I thought he was just throwing breadcrumbs out on a trail. I thought it was just a fat kid wasting food, and that's why he got in trouble. So a buddy of mine, Matt, we were all hanging out. It was like his 9th or 10th birthday, just doing like a backyard camp out. Parents are there, of course, they're drinking beer, so we're roasting s'mores. One of the neighbors come over and he starts telling us like an old Indian like campfire story about how like on the 3rd full moon of the year, like the spirits of the natives of this land that are buried in the mounds not too far from here come to retrieve the souls of like basically like young white kids to redeem the stolen people from their tribes. And when parents aren't around, that's when they'll show themselves, and when they come, don't look them in their eyes or they'll snatch their soul and put it on the back of the horse, and that's how kids end up on milk cartons. Those are the missing kids that like in America kind of thing. And we're all just kind of like, what? I mean, at the time it's like, it's creepy, right? We're just like, this is
just little kids.
Yeah, it's like, this is bizarre. And so we're sitting there, and like, we go in the tent, we're hanging out, like all the parents for some reason kind of disperse from the fire, and then all of a sudden we just start hearing like tribal drums. And then you get that whole kids like ear perk up, like suck the air out of the room, look at each other. And the guy told us like, don't look them in the eyes, always find something natural, because if it wasn't here beforehand, they could walk through it. So it's like the tent wasn't going to save you, but like they can't walk through trees, they can't walk through like natural items, but they can walk through anything that like is made post that time. And so we're all freaking out. We hear the drums, and then all of a sudden we hear like a parent's voice like at the campfire, and then like the drum noise goes away. And I'm like, dude, I think your neighbor's pointing the speakers out of his house. Like, we're trying to logically as kids, like, Mark's messing with us kind of thing. Well, then the parents, start to get a little too loose, and as adults do from times when they're drinking, you hear like an argument break out.
What a surprise. A drinking and campfire and camping argument ensues.
Yeah, and people disperse, and then you hear like tires pull away aggressively as someone leaves the area.
Oh my God.
And at this time we're like kind of in the yard just like playing in the trees, and the drums come back, and they came back faster and louder, and there are no parents around. And so we all like gather around a tree, and we're laying down with our faces down. And then I shit you not, like we all talked about it like after like this experience happened away, but we're hearing like horse hooves like stomp around the circle of us kids around this tree. And then we hear Matt's mom shout at the door, and then the sound stops. And at this point, half the kids are like, I'm not sleeping outside, fuck it, I'm out. They're like, we're sleeping inside. Me and Matt are like, dude, we're sticking it out. You know what I mean? All we have to do is just not look. Like, we're fine,
Like, way too just logical as a kid to be like, if we follow the rules, we'll be fine.
Yeah. And so, like, we heard drums like one or two more times that night, but never like any other like close footsteps or anything of that nature. And when we woke up in the next morning, there was an eagle feather right outside of the tent that Matt and I like were sleeping in. And to this day, I can run into my buddy, and I'm like, hey, man, you remember? And he's like, the camping trip? Like, we're both, like, subset. Yeah. Like,
I mean, and to be clear, an eagle feather is not common to find.
No, I mean, like, granted, like, we're in Illinois. Like we have eagles, but they're near the Illinois River, which is, 30 miles away from where we're at, like, where we were at.
Yeah, but it's not like this place is lousy with eagles.
Yeah, there's not just, like...
Eagles like pigeons or, like, robins or whatever, or cardinals.
Yeah.
Everyone's got an eagle in their backyard.
And a single feather, too, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of not... Like, Matt, to this day, still has that feather.
Wow, that's really cool.
And so it's like, but it's like I'm an optimistic skeptic, and it's like, all right, was his neighbor Mark messing with us, and this was all set up, and he was the one that planned it? Could that have happened? Yes, but could he have like made it sound like a horse was walking around us when we were all laying around a tree, like basically pissing our pants? There is no way that he could have done that and gotten away that fast without someone seeing him scurry away.
And if anybody has ever, I had the fortunate upbringing of, having a farm in the family. And my aunt was a horse trainer. So she would board horses for people who had horses out in a barn on my grandparents' property. And she lived there, and she would take care of these people's horses for them, right? And she would train these horses. So I was around horses. I know exactly the sound you're talking about, and it's very distinct.
Yeah, and it's not like your comical two coconuts clapping together. No. It's like there's the sound that a hoof makes when it compresses ground.
Yeah,
is like it's not easy. I'm sure it can be emulated, but it's not easily emulated. And not without like a very like everyone's in on it kind of like move.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was, I'm curious if you ever brought this up to any of the adults there ever.
No. Like,
okay, to know that, yeah, that was Mark. He pulled this great prank on you kids, or blah, blah, blah.
We've talked to Matt's mom, Lori, about it, and she's like, your kids' imaginations are just, that's so great that you guys have imaginations. It's just like, no, we are 40-year-old adults now, and it still is bothering us.
I mean, like what a typical adult response.
It's like, you kids were just so creative.
Your imagination. I will not be presented with this information that makes me wonder what the hell was happening.
Yeah.
Beyond my control, right? I mean, I think, you hear these stories, as someone who's never had children, and you hear these stories about like all these people growing up, like, my parents told me that it was an imaginary friend, it wasn't real, and blah blah blah, and all these stories. And I'm like, if I had a kid and they came into my room and be like, Samuel keeps asking me if we're gonna do crayons tonight, and I keep telling him it's bedtime, and this is and I'm like, who's would I just be like, okay, tell Samuel that Dad is running on 3 hours of sleep and he needs to shut the fuck up tonight.
Yeah, but do you think it's also just like, as a parent, it's like your whole thing is like you just want to protect your child, and if you are if you don't know anything, like if you don't know what it is, like you're an adult.
Yeah, you don't want to tell your kid, hey, I have no idea who that person in your room is that I can't see. And I don't know if they're good or bad. Okay, sleep well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, let's be honest, all parents are trying to keep like a power dynamic. Like mom and dad have all the answers. You know what I mean? Like
and I think that's that's like one of these like natural order of like, I'm keeping this thing alive thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, I always have a joke where it's like, when you have a child, it's the Old Testament, it's doom and gloom, and then when you become a grandparent, it's New Testament, it's all grace and love.
That's interesting.
It's like you just get to have like your whole job when it's your kid is like, just don't die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't die, and when you get older, don't touch little kids and don't go to prison. And if I did that, I succeeded. But then when you're a grandparent, you're just like, I don't give a shit. I'm not to keep you alive. My job is to fuel you up on candy and just like pay back my shithead kid that I had.
Yeah, maybe make it a little more stressful for them to keep you alive.
Yeah.
I get enjoyment out of watching them keep you alive under more difficult circumstances.
I get to be the accelerant, not the suppressant.
Yeah, and you're running on sugar and caffeine when you're with Grandpa, okay? It is, I'm curious about, we're kind of getting to the end here. And we'll have to do another one of these sometime in the future, maybe. But the experiences in totality, right? From being a kid and having these strange experiences, and we can talk about the abandoned hospital another time, maybe.
Yeah.
But and then the experiences of the perspective shift and the CCTVs as you're losing your sight and all these things. I'm curious about the transformation that may or may not have taken place when it comes to what you believed in the world, and was there any change in the possibilities of things being real or not real, or et cetera?
Yeah, it's like, for me personally, it's just the one thing that I take from it is that, like, if I know anything, it's that I know nothing. And like, and like I told you yesterday, like my spirit animal is JB from Angels in the Outfield. Like, hey, it could happen, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I stay open. Like, it's kind of like even with conspiracy theories, I give them all space, but I don't believe any of them. You know, it's like because they're fun, right? And it's like, and what it like, you know, I can't dismiss the experiences that I experienced because they were experienced, and I take from it sometimes. That's all this life is like, you don't have to understand, you can just experience. And I feel having kind of like that open and lax kind of ability for it, like you allow things just to ebb and flow, come and go, good, bad, or indifference. It's like nothing can define you except for you, because that's the main basis of it. And so as long as you're willing to like give it space and let it work, like then you can possibly work it out. But if you try to work it, you can fuck that thing up, you know, and in the process, like, fuck yourself up. It's like my buddies blow glass. Sometimes you just have to let gravity do its thing. If you try to force it, you can get burned, you know. And it's just handling things in the sense of how they come to you. Like sometimes like letting go of control is having control.
Yeah, I guess that's.
I know there's a lot of word salad that I just kind of like.
Well, it's pretty difficult to sometimes maintain that point of view too in the moment, I guess, but of letting go of control and meaning you have the control. But it is, you know, it stands to reason as a very beneficial way to go about things when you consider just the randomness. And I know it's, you know.
Well, for me, it's like I believe in something greater than myself. Like there is like a higher power. Like this isn't it. So it's like if there's something greater than me that has something greater for me, then like let it ride, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I think too often maybe, at least in my mind when I was growing up, I thought that had to be this like God type figure, this singular entity, right? Of like all knowingness and all powerfulness. Right. And, you know, when people nowadays think about abandoning such a belief system, they'll be like, then what will keep us good? What will, you know, it's like, well, yeah, just because you know what's right.
Yeah. It's like, you feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah. It's like, you know, if what you're doing is wrong and now whether or not like, cause I mean, there are bad people that like doing bad things and know what they're doing is bad, but that's what they like. But
they know it's bad.
But they know it's bad. Yeah. Like they know it's counter to the culture. And we talked a little bit about this last night too, where it's like, I feel like it's all like the human experience is just, I'm going to wait for this bus to go by. Like the human experience is all just like experiencing emotions. I think, you know, it's like those things like feelings, emotions, like they're all kind of like, they're all just vibrations and frequency. And I think for like our next transition, of which we all came from energy, we know that it can't be created or destroyed, just like transferred. And I think we're just supposed to learn like what type of energy we're supposed to be, whether that's sound or light or, you know, it's feeling. All those things are probably in my mind tied to a certain note or a certain color, and you have to master all those to like get to the final stage. Yeah,
I think you'd really enjoy the Robert Monroe trilogy of books about out of body. Like, I mean, I think you'd really dig them because I mean there is like highly detailed accounts of, first of all, his journey trying to understand what's happening to him, feeling crazy, right? And then trying to study and understand it. And then building that out, you know, through his work and other, you know, access to resources. And then it goes into detailing these very, very hyper-specific, like relationships he's having with energetic entities outside of the physical realm. Right. And his whole thing is that we are more than physical reality. Like we are not limited to this physical space. Like that is the biggest myth. That is the biggest thing you have to break through first. Right. And then, but he's got these very specific relationships with these individual personalities of energies or whatever they are. Right.
But they only come through on like one type of channel to him kind of thing.
Well, they come through in different spaces and one of them, and there's different energetic sensations and qualities, whether they be like, maybe more positive, more negative, I guess, to a certain degree, but it's not like good or bad necessarily. Like thicker, right? Where it's like, that's not as great. But like around the earth specifically, it's kind of pretty dense, like, but then he encounters an energetic entity out there that's like not human. And it's like, I'm going to give that a try. And gets sucked in and gets sucked into a loop, right? And his buddy that was with him before he decided, I'm going to give that a try, Monroe keeps encountering this other entity. And they're having conversations like, well, where's so-and-so? And he's like, he's lost to me now. He's in the loop. He's in the earth human loop. And he can't get out. Because he's got to do this, right? He's got to now. He made the choice to go in there and then get into the shit of it all, and has to progress and has to get out of it now, right? And I'm not going to spoil things, but it is fascinating. It's kind of like exactly what you're talking about. The purpose of being a human is to have these emotions and feel things, and it's. And I mean, that's what I think reincarnation is about.
It's kind of centered around, because it's like, if you can, some people it seems like they're already at a different level because like they can internally deal with things. Like
some people are able to just handle shit better,
like
than other
faster,
people.
And then
emotionally,
and then I think other people where it's like where their life seems to be like this outward chaos. It's like, okay, you couldn't work on that with yourself.
Oh, you're a baby human.
So we're gonna give you all these tangible things to like have it play out in front of you, since you're not willing to be honest with yourself internally. So you externally have to see how these things would honestly play.
Yeah, exactly. And what's also interesting too is when someone is super advanced on this progression timeline or whatever, process, whatever we want to call it, it can come off at times as cold to many of us that are much further down the ladder of achievement when it comes to emotional and energetic achievement or evolving or whatever we want to call it. And it'd be like, wait, it reminds me a lot of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, or like there's a certain group of hobbits that believe, or was it the Hobbits, or it's one of those like major movie franchises that are based on books. I don't think it's actually the Lord of the Rings. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's a group of these people that believe passiveness, or being a pacifist at all costs and always, no matter what. Right? Yeah, it's definitely not the Lord of the Rings I'm thinking of. It's some other franchise. But I think Amazon.
Is that Hacksaw Ridge? No.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge, and it's like. One of the kids breaks away from this clan, right, or this group of, his people, because he can't handle it. He can't handle watching someone that he's close to and loves being attacked, and he fights.
Just taking it all the time, yeah.
Yeah, and so he fights that person and ends up, killing someone, and so he's never allowed back into the group because he broke their one rule, and it's no matter what, we are not violent. Even if we're being slaughtered, we are not violent, right?
Well, that kind of falls into that line where it's like, because this isn't the final step. So it's like we're already like we're one step away, and like from like the next level. So it's like if you like show anger, like you circle back to the bottom. It's like by you showing violence, it's like now you got to re-go through all the cycles, man, because you can't just backstep from.
And there's a reason it's hard, I guess.
Yes, yeah, it's like
because if it was easy, everybody would do it right away. But I mean, I think it reminds me of, and I'm going to bastardize this. I'm gonna mess it up. But the Dalai Lama years ago, I believe, was asked if you had the opportunity to kill Hitler when he was young, would you have done it? Like that whole "would you kill Hitler" thing, and they were shocked by his response because they said, if you had the opportunity to kill Hitler and prevent all that suffering, would you do it? And he goes, "Of course I would." Like with no hesitation. They're like, but you're the Dalai Lama. Like it's all about peace and love and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, well, think about how much suffering I would have stopped. So of course I would have done that. And they were just like,
well,
They didn't know how to respond.
What I guess, and here's the thing on that too, is it's like, is it stopping the man from doing the thing, or is there a thing that happened to the man that forced him to become the thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's just the contrarian in me. It's like,
sure. I mean, but yeah, it's one of those things too where it's the devil you got is the devil you know.
No, yeah.
And like making a wish, it's the monkey paw. It's like, oh, you think you're making the perfect wish, and little do you know the curse that comes with it.
Yeah, there's always a flip side. Like one of my favorite Steinisms is, if you ever try to get square in life.
Now, is a Steinism just something you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking in third person about your sayings.
Yeah. It's like, if you ever try to get square in life, if you cut corners, you always circle back to where you started.
Oh, okay.
It's like
one of my favorite Steinisms is one of my favorite Steinisms. That's a Steinism in itself. It's just saying one of my favorite Steinisms.
I've been hanging out with Dr. Gonzo too much this weekend.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it's like you don't, like, there's no way of cheating it, I guess, is the easiest way. Like, it's like, yeah, there's no shortcut, and because if, like, just in the term shortcut, you're cutting yourself short on something, whether that was a lesson or that was like a step that was necessary. There are no cheat codes in life. Like, and if you tend to like, some people get lucky and they can skip levels, but like, if you purposely take an action to like skip a level, you will have to go through that level at some point, I think.
Yeah. And there's baseball people talk about it like in a similar way, where you can either be born with talent or you can work your ass off. And boy, oh boy, watch out when someone who's born with talent works their ass off. That's when you find true greatness. Right, in a player, a baseball player. Talent can be stopped by injury. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, there's anything that, or just you never truly even know what your ceiling was. But it is one of those. So I mean, you can be born more advanced, but if you just decide not to, but I guess it's one of those paradoxes. Like, well, if you're born super advanced already, would you wouldn't just revert into like not giving a shit because you're already past all that. But
see, I have a problem with that too, where it's like some of the experiences I have, like I could have gone the route of the gentleman you were talking about that like wrote the book and like use all the resources at hand and like really get into it. But I'm also just kind of like, yeah, that happened. All right, cool. Next.
Yeah, I'm going to write some jokes about my dick and take Greyhound buses around the country. That's my soul contract this time around.
Yeah. Can we figure out a way that I can like just work 45 minutes a night? That'd be once a week.
They get paid in cheese sticks.
Yeah, hopefully we're past those days, right?
Yeah. Well, you always come back to where you started. Well, this has been great.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah,
did that sound sincere? Because it was. This has been great.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Next.
I'm gonna get that ghost on the mic, and the ghost shows up like my favorite Steinism.
Yeah. Which, speaking of tonight, when I do crowd work, should I just talk to an empty seat in the room with all your paranormal fans here?
Oh, right. Like some esoteric crowd work.
Yeah.
I only talk to Freemasons. That's my crowd work. Let's tell everybody where they can find you on the internet.
If you just blindstein.com or all like social media, it's just Blindstein Comedy. Find me on all that jazz. So I don't post too much on Instagram because if I can't see my life, why should you be able to?
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I love it. This was great. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing those stories. I think they were really rad. And we're going to have a great weekend. Everybody, thanks for listening to the show. As always, going on this voyage with us. And, RyanSingerComedy.com. That's got next week, or actually probably by the time this comes out, I'll be at Go Bananas in Cincinnati recording at least one album, one clean, one whatever I want to do. kind of thing. And then we're doing the live podcast on Sunday, August 9th. So if you're anywhere near Cincinnati, reach out to me and, I'll put you on the guest list if you want to come to that show. We're going to do a live late night on the Astral Plane. That's Sunday night at Go Bananas Comedy Club. It's going to be rad. Matthew Jackson's already confirmed to be there. He might even be bringing Prism Light with him. So if you heard me talk about the bonkers, crazy ITC responses we get from the Prism device, I'm not guaranteeing that, by the way, because I haven't even talked to him.
Well, we had a good conversation about that last night.
Yeah, we sure did, and especially with the relation to color and sound and things like that. But so anyway, Go Bananas Comedy Club, Sunday, August 9th, the first ever live podcast I'm doing of this. Who knows? Maybe 6 people could show up. Or who knows? Maybe Bigfoot shows up. Or maybe 150 people show up. We don't know.
Hopefully not Dogman.
No, we don't need... Dogman is on the he's on the do not call list. Like, I don't care if he's got a free pass to the club. He doesn't get in. We do not honor the free tickets of dogmen. You don't really hear about Dog Woman, though, do you?
No, but maybe that's why he's just so angry and aggressive.
Because there's just no Dog Woman. Yeah. And then there's some guys listening to this and be like, well, you think he'd be happier. It's like, okay, settle down.
Yeah, we know how you voted.
Settle down. Settle down. Sit. Do you think? No, okay. We don't need to go on a Dogman rant. Thanks for listening, everybody. I love you. I hope you love yourself. Take care of yourself out there. And, I'll see you soon at a live show, or I'll see you at the watering hole on the Astral Plane.
Cheers.